Welcome everyone to Talks with Ted. As always, I'm your host Ted G. Thank you for tuning in tonight. First off, before we start our show, I'd like to give a shout out and a remembrance to Paul Mooney. To me, he was the godfather of comedy. On the Chappelle show, I really liked him. I liked what was it? Uh, Negro Damas. Yeah, he's a pretty funny comedian. Actually, if you look on Talk to a Ted Facebook page, there's a playlist on there with all of his stuff, and go check that out. Paul Mooney was one of the best to me. He was up there with Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Yeah, actually, he was a writing partner for Richard Pryor. But yeah, shout out to Paul Mooney. He died on the 19th. I think he was like 79, something like that. So he will be missed and he will be remembered. So now let's get into tonight's show. The biggest scam in human history. Now, when we think of a scam, right, we think that somebody cheated me, or damn, they tricked me. It's scandalous. You ready to go, go get somebody over something like that. But the government, the U.S., is actually the perpetrators of this particular one. And honestly, I didn't really find out about this until maybe 6 months ago or so. I did the research on it and found out it was true. And I was like, wow. Um, on that subject of scamming in the government in the US, I do find it's funny that everyday working Americans, right, they pay more taxes than the rich millionaires and those big corporations. Like that is totally amazing to me. I don't know what's going on with that. But it actually has something to do with the show's topic tonight. So the biggest scam in history, and it is related to money. Now, we got to go way back when it wasn't the United States, but it was just the 13 little colonies. And it will go a little bit back before then. So these people called goldsmiths, right? They were kind of like banks. And say that you had some gold or silver or something like that, and you didn't want to keep it on your person or at your house, you would go to the goldsmith and deposit your gold, and he'd give you these receipts, right? And those receipts that he gave you for the gold is kind of like our paper money, what we got today. They were called colonial script, right? Now, the goldsmith got to thinking, I got all these people's gold, right? And never the odds of people coming to get this gold at one time is really slim. So the goldsmith was like, how can I, make a quick buck off of other people' money? Don't that sound familiar? So what he did was he used his money, his gold to buy more gold, and he would loan the gold or the colonial script out to people with interest, right? So for you guys that's just now tuning in, we're talking about a goldsmith back before the 13 colonies, actually kind of around there. And the goldsmiths would hold people's gold and give them a receipt. So we established that. Now, he thought, well, I can make money off other people's stuff, of other people's gold. So he went out and bought more gold and started loaning gold out with interest. And he would, they would be like IOUs. They were called colonial script, right? So after he done this, people start taking note. Well, whatever the people think is money is going to be money, right? And that's us. Like, you do not realize how much power that we actually have if we ever came together with a single purpose. I don't mean just black. I mean purple, blue, everybody. If we just came together with a single purpose, there's nothing that we couldn't accomplish. Now back to the topic. So this is called fractional reserve banking, right? Fractional reserve banking. And it's actually a system that is used today, right? Now, so far, you don't hear anything that's new or that's scamish. But I'm getting to that part. Check this shit out. So uh, King George, went to wrote a letter to Benjamin Franklin back then and was like, "Hey, I need my taxes. I need my money. Pay me what you owe me." So this dude, Benjamin Franklin, he sends this dude over a whole bunch of a whole bunch of paper, right? Check it out. And that's because back then the colonies were using colonial script. It was like IOUs or our paper money, right? So he sent a letter back like, what the fuck is this? You just gave me a bunch of paper. And Ben was like, nah, this is what we using in the colonies. And, shit, we ain't got that much gold. So, the king was like, nah, bro, you gotta send me some gold. You gotta give me the good stuff because the king was hoarding the gold anyway. That is why most of the colonies didn't have that much gold. Okay. So, long story short, the real reason for the war with Britain and all that was over money. It was over central banking. It was over money. And actually, I believe that most of the wars, even today, is about money. So, excuse me. So, Benjamin Franklin was like, "Hey, you know what? We're not going to pay you. Do what you do. Bring it." So, and of course the war ensued and America won its freedom, right? Well, there's these banks called central banks, and back then they pretty much, and some today, control the economy and control the world. So they established a central bank in the colonies, and what it did was loan out money with interest, right? It'll loan out gold with a little bit of interest. It will loan out silver with a little bit of interest, and henceforth fractional reserve banking, right? Now, let's fast forward just a little bit to the Civil War, right? Now, a lot of you guys think that Lincoln freed the slaves. Like he did free them, but the reason behind it, everybody think Lincoln, was a Democrat, a hero, and all this other shit. Well, I mean, what he did was great, because it led up to today. But Lincoln is quoted saying in his biography that if he didn't have to free a slave to win the war, then he wouldn't. He quoted saying that. He said he doesn't have the right to, mess with anybody, any of the southern states' slavery institution. If he could win the war without it, he would, right? Well, now these central banks, what they would do is they would loan money to this side and they would loan money to that side of the war. And they making bank either way. Either way, they're gonna make bank, right? So what happened is if that side lost, then this side has to pay the other's debt, the war debt, right? So guess what old Lincoln did? Guess what old Honest Abe did? Old Honest Abe, he's like, you know what? We've been using colonial script for a while. Why can't I use colonial script? Change a little bit, put a little color to it. Why can't I use this to fund the war? Right? And that's what he did. Pissed everybody off. So not only did Abe Lincoln free the slaves to win the war, but this dude told the central banks, nah, bro, we don't need your money. I'm going to make my own money. Have a good day. Wish you the best. Deuces. Right? So that pissed everybody off anyway. So Lincoln, of course, got assassinated over that fact. Now, remember, this is the biggest scam in history. The biggest scam in history. And once you find out about it, you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? So, fast forward a little bit more. Now, a central bank has always been trying to establish a foothold in America. It won a foothold a couple times back then, and they was fucking shit up. But until I think Woodrow Wilson, until then, Central banks was always everywhere. Now, this is where it gets murky. So when Honest Abe created what's called greenbacks to fund the war, he freed the slaves. They shot him over that fact. Uh, People was like, okay, well, we don't have any gold, so let's just keep using these greenbacks, right? Because remember what I said: whatever the people say is money is going to be money. Whatever the people say is valuable is going to be valuable. So this is shit crazy, bro. It's crazy. So what they did in 1935, they enacted the Social Security Act, right? Now it had, some privileges with it, this, and that. But the main thing that it did was require us to have a birth certificate. And when the birth certificate came, so did the driver's license and, all type of registration stuff. I'm going to get to why that matters. Because back then, right, we were sovereign. Well, we wasn't sovereign. Black people wasn't sovereign. But white people were sovereign. Guess what they called black people back then? Guess. It's what we're all called today. Shoot a comment in the comment section if you know the answer. I'll wait. Don't worry. Yes, sir. So nobody. Okay. Well, they called us citizens. Citizens. I could not believe it. They called us citizens. It's like, what? Black people were citizens back then, and we were called sovereign, or white people were called sovereign. So fast forward, 1935, the Social Security Act was signed into law, and everybody is going to be citizens now. Now, the white people, they didn't want to do it, but they're like, shit, do I do it or do I not? If I don't do it, then I don't get federal benefits and so on and so forth. Now, these slick people, I'm going to say people, I'm going to be nice. These slick people, what they did was required us to have a birth certificate, which is just like a stock, right? Just like buying a piece of stock. Why? Because in 1933, America went bankrupt and they owed a lot of people, right? Owed a lot of people. So their creditors was like, hey, bro, where my money? I've been waiting this long. I need some bread. We ain't America, like, we ain't got it. I mean, shit, we got these wars and, we freed the slaves, so we don't get any more free labor and so on and so forth. So they came up with a great fucking idea. And this is the biggest scam in human history. It's called pledging. Pledging. They pledged us. They didn't have any gold to pledge. They didn't have any silver to pledge. They didn't have anything that's valuable, but the citizens. The United States of America Corporation. Corporation. Period. Point blank. Stop the press. That's just what it is. So you right now are a fucking stock in the eyes of them. And why? Peep this. Think about it. When you're born, right? Your mother has, or when you're being carried in the womb, your mom has to go to the doctor, right? The doctor's got to get paid, so he's got to pay taxes. You got to buy diapers, formula, baby clothes, all that stuff, and you ain't even came out the womb yet. Doctor visits, prenatal vitamins, all that stuff. And guess what's attached to all that stuff? Fucking taxes, right? So what they did, the government, the United States of America Corporation, what they did was pledge us citizens to cover the debt that they owed central banks in other countries. Yes. Shit, before you even born, I'm sure in taxes, you probably rake a good at least 20,000 maybe of all the hospital visits, the doctor's visits, and all the stuff you got to buy before the baby's even out of the womb. So that's a good, maybe even more, 20 to 50 G's right there, right? And they knew this. They know this. And then out you come, right? And say, for instance, if the if they don't think, the government don't think that you're treating your kid right, then they can take them. Why? Because they are an investment to them. Because when they grow up, guess what they're going to do? They're going to get a job. They're going to get a car. They're going to, invest in stocks. They are going to be pay taxes as well. So effectively, what these people did was create a debt system. Right now, I guarantee you in debt and don't even know why. Don't even know why. Well, it's because I got bills and because that ain't why. It's because we are citizens and not sovereign. If we were sovereign, the fuck? No, we won't be paying any type of taxes. There ain't no birth certificate. There wasn't even no birth certificate back then. They wrote your births in the back of a Bible. There wasn't no social security card. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no W-4 and all this other shit. The reason why there's so much documentation is because we are considered fucking property. Property. Tax paying machines. Right? And it all started back then. All started back then in the colonial times. They knew that this colonial script and this greenback shit was a way that they didn't have to keep gold in the bank. Do you know to this day, right now, that all the money out there that's circulating, it ain't even backed by gold. They got rid of that because they knew that they didn't gonna have enough gold. So every dollar that passes your hand and every paycheck that you cash is printed fucking bad money. Simple as that. Bad money. There's nothing backing it. Say if the dollar crashed right now, right, and it ain't worth shit, there's nothing backing it. And they know this. So back to the biggest scam in history, it is this, that we, the people, are the property and stock/bond of the American corporation. That is what we are to them. Point blank. Don't believe me? Let's check a video out. Now this is my main man Merkaba. Go to his channel on YouTube. You can find him there. Let's watch a little clip. Let's watch a little clip. And like I said, also do the studies yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Do the research. Everything I'm telling you is 100% legit. You can go to freedompool.org to find the paper that I'm going to show you. But the shit's crazy. Check this shit out. Just check this shit out real quick. Let me see. Let me find it for you. Yeah, man, I couldn't believe this when I even heard it. Like when I heard it, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it myself. Right? I gotta bring this up. We have a little technical error. All right. Just a little technical error. Okay, we got it. Check this shit out, bro. Check this out.
You safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all sprung from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when
Looks like we had a little technical difficulties with our clip. So let me see if I can fix this real quick to get back into the show. I don't know what happened. Let's try and fix it though, because this is a really, really important clip to look at. It ties into everything I was saying about this scam, right? Like everything. You will be amazed at what you see. Totally amazed. This is the biggest scam in history. This money thing. Check this out. Just I'm telling you, it's crazy, crazy, right? Um, so let's look at this clip real quick. This is from the real Merkaba on YouTube. He's a really smart dude. He does really good work, and I really enjoy listening to him. You guys should go check that out. Let's check out this clip real quick. This is about the straw man. Check this out. Let's see if we can get the audio going.
You safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spun from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oops-a-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Do you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super! Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your, straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well, then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for your little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like you have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, your child becomes a ward of state. And if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's okay to take the child away or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you but belongs to your straw man, not you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead, and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it. When you go to court, you represent your straw man. So you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man or legal personality is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy.
Woodrow Wilson, as you may know, for any of you who have done any research into the Federal Reserve, the central bankers, and the fiat currency system that we've been enslaved into, you'll know that Woodrow Wilson is the president who signed into law the Federal Reserve Act. And you may already know that the Federal Reserve is a private corporation. It's not federal. It has no reserves. It's a private corporation owned by offshore bankers. It's an offshore company that prints paper out of thin air. There was a man named Edward Mandell House, and he was Woodrow Wilson's handler. House was an Englishman. Actually, the Earl of Grey was his handler. Okay, this is what House said. Very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property. That's the birth certificate. They will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or suffer not being able to work and earn a living, the sin. They will be our chattel. That means slaves, means collateral. You're secured as collateral. They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever. By operation of the law merchant under the scheme of secured transactions, Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivering the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation, secured by their pledges, the birth certificate. They will be stripped of their rights and given a commercial value designed to make us profit, and they will be none the wiser. For not one man in a million could ever figure out our plans. And if by accident one or two would figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government, by floating liens and debt to the registrants in the form of benefits and privileges. This will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. Without realizing it, every American will insure us for any loss we may incur in this manner. Every American will unknowingly be our servant, however begrudgingly. The people will become helpless, and without any hope for their redemption, we will employ the...
Do you guys hear this, man? Are you paying attention? Man, listen, if you missed some of the show, rewind it, go back a little bit, or catch it after the show, whatever you got to do, but pay attention. Black people, open your eyes. Matter of fact, everybody open your eyes. They are pledging us to other countries. They are pledging us to their debtors, okay? They're using our birth certificate as like it's stock. Because they can say, well, the average person will pay $100,000, well, not even that shit, about $1 million in their entire lifetime of taxes, probably more. So they can pledge that as collateral to their debtors. Are you kidding me?
By office of the president of our dummy corporation to foment this plot against America.
Right there, look at it. Declassified document, people.
So this is a classified document.
No, it's not classified. It's available at freedomblue.org. House quote, and it's a historical document.
This is an historical document. It's an house quote. This ain't no conspiracy theory. This ain't no maybe it is, maybe it ain't. This is black and white paper, right? Of what these people that are controlling America, controlling the world, what they're doing.
This denotes ownership. And when your
Check this shit out.
parents were tricked into filling this out, they allowed your spirit and your soul to be monetized. And futures were sold on you.
Spirit and soul.
Now, this is my birth certificate. This is actually a share. See these are the round number? This is A. I'm born in Canada. This is a Class A share. Now, this is called the custom number. And all
Pay
securities
attention to that.
require
Look
a
at that.
custom number. And that's what this is. And you are held as collateral to secure the debt which our government owes to international bankers. So you and me and all these people here are actually collateral. And we don't even own our lives. We are chattel. And we believe we're free. I made an application to the Registrar General, and I got my original social insurance application. Now, before they sent it to me, they put a little piece of paper over this before they photocopied it. Because my friend has his, and they didn't block this out. And when you hold it up, you see Bank of Canada. It is said that the best slaves are the ones who don't know that they're enslaved. And we all have invisible chains on us, and we don't know it.
Another question that they ask me is, how come I haven't heard this on TV, or on the radio, or in the newspaper? Well, sweetie, the simple answer to that is the same people who own the television stations and the newspapers and the radio stations are the same people who are involved with the research. And
Now, did you just hear that? The same people that own the radio stations, the news media, we're talking about the big ones, the news outlets are the same people that know about this fucking scam. The same ones. This lady discovered, what's been going on, the biggest scam in history, and she wrote her local lawman or lawwoman, and she got 1 million some signatures or something like that, and they were supposed to have a press conference and have a meeting to discuss it. Check this out.
here is a little statement that says that it only requires 5% ownership to significantly influence the media. Rockefeller is one of the original shareholders of the Federal Reserve. As early as 1963, the House Banking Subcommittee reported that Rockefeller, through Chase Manhattan Bank, controlled 5.9% of the stock in CBS and the bank, and gained interlocking directorates with ABC. I went all the way through high school, all the way through college, all the way through testing for the CPA, and all this Irish training, and didn't hear about any of this. You think they want this information out here for you guys
Hell no.
to eat up and chew up and find out what's really going on? I don't think so. Now, another one. Why don't we just tell our elected officials about this? And to make a really long story short, the We the People Foundation, the same people that put out this ad, put together a hearing. And these 40 researchers, we're going to ask the IRS and the DOJ these questions. We're going to have this big meeting in Washington called the Truth and Taxation Hearing. Okay? So we got together with 537 questions. So we sent them 537 questions so researchers have to have the answers, and what did they do? They reneged on coming. They signed off on it, but they reneged on coming. So you all didn't get to hear the truth. We went on and had the hearings anyway, put it on CD, marched around Washington, giving it to all 535 congressmen and senators. Please look at this information. We got super responses back, like, thank you for visiting our office in Washington. The next time you come to Washington, please visit us again. They don't care. Your presidents don't care. Another one that they asked me, Or they'll say something like, well, this just sounds like it's some kind of conspiracy theory. Y'all hear that a lot? Okay. But tell me this, what's the difference between a conspiracy and a strategy?
Did you hear what she just said? What is the difference between a strategy and a conspiracy? I'm telling y'all better wake up. Better wake up, see what's going on. Hey, these people, the biggest scam in history, the biggest one. Ever since, the law of the Social Security Act, I believe it was 1935 or 1933, they know this. The congressmen know it. The representatives know it. The Republicans, it don't matter what party they belong to. It doesn't matter. Why won't they do nothing about this? Because they're benefiting from it. The only people that don't benefit from this is people like you and I. We're taxed to death. Shit, I'm surprised that they don't make you pay a death tax so you can die. And like she said, what's the difference between strategy and conspiracy? Right? See, the local media and the national media, they'll label something as a conspiracy theory or this or that. And this ain't conspiracy theory shit. This is facts. Facts. You can go look this up yourself on freedompool.org. It's a historical document. It's a house document. Okay? It clearly states that your birth certificate, when you are born, right, it's pledged. You are a pledge to international bankers and to the United States debtors, right, who they owe. These people be like, hey, bro, where my money to the U.S.? U.S. like, I ain't got it right now. Come holler at me on payday, but what I do got is spit some slick shit. What I do got is I got my citizens, and shit, just 10 of them are worth about $1 billion over a lifetime. These people, they don't plan weeks ahead, months ahead, even a year ahead. They plan fucking generations. And that is why our race, the black people, me, people that are watching this, that is why we need to be together. Stop paying attention to shit that you don't need to pay attention to. Now, yes, the things that are going on today in today's world, especially with the people of our race, is truly, truly messed up. It really is. It really is. But nothing's going. Now, you can go on the street and protest, right? You can do all that. But at the end of the day, what type of progress are we really making by doing that? We got to do what they do. Make sure we good. Make sure our families is good. Our communities is good. Our race is good. Start coming together. Think about generational wealth. Stop thinking about, what we gonna wear to the club, or, what we finna drink on, or how fine she look, and all this other fucking garbage. Nah, bro. Start opening your eyes. Wake up. These people have been controlling us since they fucking drug our asses over here from a different continent. A different continent. In episode 4, we talked about a little bit about slavery, right? This is the calculated destruction of the black family, the black male. They'll lock us in jail for 1,000 years, break up the family. Instead of, maybe some of us need mental health services or substance abuse services, counseling, therapy, something like that. No, we don't get that. Nah, bro, we go straight to the joint. Straight to the joint. Straight to the joint. I will say this. There is some reason, I haven't discovered it yet, but I trust you and trust me, I will find out what it is. They are afraid of us for some reason. They do not want us to come together and rise. They spend millions of dollars a year on research, just how music affects our minds, black people's minds, right? We had slavery, right? We had segregation. We had Jim Crow. We had the assassination of our leaders, right? Now we have oppression. We have the cops killing us. We got all type of shit going on. All type of shit. From day one, we have been oppressed. From day one. Day one. Them damn slave, what they call them, slave breakers, slave trainers, they used to fucking pull our heads off, bro. They pulling us apart with horses and beating the shit out of us, whooping our ancestors back, and at the same time trying to open a Bible and fucking tell us something about a verse. Wake up. Wake up. Even the education system is built to make you docile. It's built to make you be able to listen to somebody else that's not none of your family, some strange motherfucker, right? Tell you what to do for 8 hours. What do you got to do in school? You got to sit there for 8 hours. Man, listen, that's other episodes as well. But what I'm trying to get across tonight, the biggest scam in history is to wake you up, and hopefully you have an open mind to receive the information that I'm giving you. There was no such thing as birth certificates back then. In the 1902, there was no birth certificates. None. There was no Social Security Act. None of that shit. Right? They are pledging us, human people, to international bankers and to everybody else. We are citizens of the United States Corporation. Remember that. Now, I've heard of steps that you can take to become sovereign and things of that nature. I'm going to dig into that, do my research. And I challenge you to do your research about this subject. Fractional reserve banking, the straw man, those keywords. Do your research. Tell me what you find out. Shoot me a message. Just let me know. Because until we come together as a people, nothing will be accomplished. Nothing at all. I don't care who you is, where you from, none of that. Nothing will be accomplished until we come together. Until then, we got to put our self-interests aside, man. That's all there is to it. Now, that document that he was referring to in that clip on freedompool.org, I'll show you what it is real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let me show you this real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, this is the document that they were referring to on freedompool.org. You guys might not be able to see it that well. I'll try zooming in a little bit, but you might have to zoom in on your phones as well. So this is freedompool.org. It has all type of House documents, federal code, maritime law, which is what we're under now. That's what it has to do with everything, right? The birth certificate, all this stuff like that, the pledge, all this is maritime law. That is a law of the ocean. It ain't supposed to be a law of the land. See, back in the day, what maritime law was, when ships with goods came onto a new land, they would have to fill out what's called a birthing certificate, right? Because they'll have to track their goods that they brought up to that new land, because they have to be taxed. So they would birth, the goods onto the shore, and they would fill out a certificate, so birth certificate. That's where they came from, the whole birth certificate thing. And the goods being taxed, well, we're the goods and we're being taxed. So this shit is crazy as fuck, right? Crazy as fuck. Right here in our society, the private straw man was created by the application for the birth certificate. It is an international vessel in maritime law. Do you see that? The public straw man was created by the application for the Social Security card. It is the national vessel in the law of admiralty. John Doe is a non-resident alien in relation to the public. He exists in the republic. He has inalienable rights and unlimited liabilities. Right? And they say the same thing. He exists in democracy. He has benefits and obligations and limited liability. Right? And it kind of just goes on and on and on about commerce and things of that nature. But you can look and you can see it for yourself. You can look other places, do your research. Just do the research. And I believe that's the most problem today is the research thing. Nobody ever does the research to look into these things. Stop letting these people fuck us, right? Stop it, quit it, okay? And let's try to teach our children a better way. For this whole biggest scam that they doing, pledging us as collateral, we're collateral to international bankers and stuff. We'll have to work on that problem together because too many people benefit that of the higher level. Too many people, way too many people, you know? So I hope you guys, learned a little bit tonight. I really do. Please tune in again. I love to educate and to spread this knowledge because I believe that knowledge is power. And if we don't know our history, Black history, then what are we? You know what I'm saying? They done studies on that, man. They done studies that we're the only people that's in America right now that we don't have a real culture. We don't know our roots. Only thing that they teach us in school is that we were fucking slaves. They don't teach us that we were kings and queens. They don't teach us that we was pharaohs. They don't teach us that we came from mighty tribes, and they don't teach us that we came from kings of Africa. They don't teach us none of that. They don't teach us that, we were in Egypt, but they had picked some damn really white pale motherfucker to play a pharaoh or play an Egyptian. Man, listen, stop being brainwashed by what you see on TV. Do your own research, open your eyes and pay attention. Because until then, nothing will change. Nothing will change. This problem is deeper than just racism. Racism, it exists and it fucking sucks. I experience it. But we got to stop doing this look here and not here shit, because that is what they're doing to us. They want us to focus on this while they behind the scenes cooking and scheming all type of shit up. All type of shit up. These stimulus payments that people be getting, this is just so you can be dependent upon a government. Before long, there's going to be universal income. And when that happens, mark my words, the government will fucking own you. Own you. It's just so much. There's just so much out there that I can go into. But like I said, I hope you guys learn something. I hope that you'll do your research into this topic. It's fractional reserve banking. It's straw man. Those are a couple of the key words. I'll put it in the links as well. But like I said, the best thing we can do is come together, put our own self-interest aside, and try to change things in our community. Try to make things right. That's all we can really do. If not, they're gonna keep stepping on our necks, bro. They're gonna keep doing it. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I do know how to fucking research, and I can separate fact from fiction. Okay, mainstream media bullshit. What they tell you, might as well do the opposite. This COVID shit, I ain't gonna speak on that tonight. That's a whole different episode. But like I said, knowledge, power, understanding, wisdom, that is what we should strive for. As far as religion and stuff, to each his own. But I will tell you this, I believe that everyone is walking their own personal path to enlightenment and to truth. Seek that. That's what you seek. If you don't seek anything else, seek truth. Right? And we've been letting these people too fucking long get away with this shit. This fractional reserve banking and this interest and putting us in so much debt that we can't even buy a meal, living paycheck to paycheck. This has to change. But I hope you guys really learned something tonight, man. I really do. Don't forget to check out our other show, The Bottom Line. It's on current events. It'll be coming out soon. Just talk about a few little current events. here soon we're going to have some guests on the show to give us their opinion, you know, what they think is right, wrong, and things of that nature. But I hope you learned something tonight. You know, stay safe, stay proud, stay black, and I'm out. Peace.